you
Please
just
do
please?
that.
Oh,
Please do that.
Would you just pretty
Could ya?
please do that?
Could
for
you just
us?
do it?
Just one time, please.
Would ya?
God damn it, man! It's not that fucking hard. Just practice.
Darn it.
I'm too busy.
Dang it! Oh, dang it!
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Shucks.
dude. I have a student who does this thing every time they get something wrong. They'll play and they'll just go, oh, darn it. And I'm like, it's okay, just do it again. You got it. Darn it. It's okay. You can just keep trying. It's
Just
okay.
keep trying.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done anything wrong when they're rehearsing something.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Yeah. Nice. It's all working.
Okay,
This is
we're good.
News. This is good news. Oh, man. Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
Dave.
I'm Adam.
It's been a minute. Sorry for missing last week. Sometimes I'm just too busy, and I just don't have time. I don't have fucking
We're
time
just
to
all
deal
too
with this
busy.
shit. I don't
Yeah.
have fucking time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
deal with this fucking podcast. Who has time, man? No, I had personal things happen. On top of that, I got food poisoning, and that food poisoning lasted until Thursday. I got it on Sunday, and it lasted until I wasn't
damn.
like throwing up that
Yeah.
long, but I thought I had like an infection because it was like it kept happening. Like I kept feeling like lightheaded,
Yeah, that's pretty
dehydrated.
bad.
Yeah.
I had to do like Pedialyte like every single day, basically. I had to do like Gatorade, Pedialyte, all that shit. You know how much water I drink.
You drink a lot of water.
And
You
it's-
drink more water than anyone I know.
And it wasn't enough. I was still dehydrated.
Wild.
It wasn't working. So I was in a rough state all the way up until Thursday of last week. And I'm happy to be, I've returned to the land of the living. I don't have food poisoning. And for all you Texans out there, I'm going to burst this fucking bubble. I got it from Buc-ee's. Get fucked.
oh, bussies.
I'm honestly not surprised.
No. I'm not
kinda
surprised either.
surprised.
Because at the end of the day, it was just gas station tacos.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's gas
That's-
station
yeah.
food.
It was
so.
just gas station tacos. And I'm like, yeah, that makes fucking sense that I got food poisoning from
like
gas station
That's probably
tacos.
the best gas station to try to get food at.
For
Yes,
sure.
But the bar
absolutely.
is incredibly low.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's,
I tend to not try to get real food at gas stations.
I actually used to do like always do like on Mondays. I always had a rehearsal in Fort Worth. I'd always go to. It was like way back like many years ago, and I would always stop at Quick Trip and get a slice of pizza and a Monster.
That pizza's not bad.
It was.
I mean,
it
you
was
can't.
solid.
You probably can get food poisoning from pizza,
For
but like
sure.
the odds are probably pretty low.
Yeah.
What kind of breakfast taco did you have?
It was just like a sausage, egg, and whatever, dude. This is the worst part about this, you guys. Sorry, this is probably TMI for some people, but when you have food poisoning from something, you don't want to eat that thing for a while.
Yeah.
Like I got food poisoning from sushi once, and it took me a long time to go back to sushi.
Yep.
The idea of eggs just makes me uncomfortable now.
That makes me sad. I eat
makes
eggs
me
every day.
really fucking
Yeah, that's
sad.
unfortunate.
Yeah, because I just got these new fucking protein breakfast burritos, and now I just can't eat them. Fucking pisses me off, man. I'm trying to get fucking yolked over here, and I can't have my yolk.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that a lot.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, just do it.
I just do it. I did get new Nikes, actually.
Did you?
I did. Finally, yeah.
You've been talking about that since we were on the road.
Yeah, since April, I think I must have been talking about. I got new Nikes. They're based on a 70s vintage, and they're a workout shoe, and they're very nice.
I was about to ask her the Flash, but they're not probably.
So what are we else gonna do today?
Did Nike make Flash
I just
shoes?
assume they have,
I thought you were just gonna assume that I would get everything Flash related.
and that you
That's
would
a
have bought.
safe
fucking
assumption.
bastard.
Yeah.
That's a safe assumption.
You
I just
bastard.
walked past your car.
Yeah, your car, your cat.
Yeah.
If you have a kid, you're gonna name it
Flash.
Flash.
I'm not gonna name my kid Flash, dude.
Well, you never know.
Jay Garrick.
What about Flash Gordon?
Gordon.
No, not Flash Gordon.
Hagen Gordon.
Joachim Hans Gordon.
Yeah, exactly.
not a good. Actually, Joachim Hans Flash has a better ring to it than
That's-
most
that-
other names.
That does kind of work.
Yeah. Try for those who don't know, my full name is Joachim Hans Hagen, and then my last name. And if you try like most names, it doesn't work, right? Joachim Hans, and then like Jim. Yeah. Oh, fucking.
Whoa. Dude, we are synced.
Dude, that's like what playing music is like. We just do the same shit all the
Just
time.
lining up.
Yeah. Try any common name and it will sound like shit. Joachim Hans Jim, Joachim Hans
Bill.
Adam.
Yeah, common ass name.
Yeah. Joachim Hans album.
Yeah.
Biblical names don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except apparently my name is biblical, but
It is?
yeah, I
I
think
feel like almost all names eventually are.
Well, that's true.
they just keep adding to the damn
If you
thing.
dig down further in there, you're like, yeah, okay, all those names are.
Yeah.
Were there names before the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bible wasn't the first thing.
I don't know.
It depends on who you talk to.
I guess that's true.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess fuck. I'm sorry if I offended anyone with that one. I guess.
I think we got the.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
As the person with the religious name.
Yeah.
Sure.
With no religious background.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
David.
David.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's
That's a religious
yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joachim Hans David.
That could work.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'm not. I know. I'm not going to name my son after you if that's what you're trying to get at.
Okay. Will you?
No, I'm not having a kid.
Damn it.
I'm not
How
having
about-
a kid either.
Okay.
You can name your own kid after
Now
you.
that's selfish.
Well, people have been doing that.
Look
though,
at
I
my
know.
family.
I know.
Yeah, we're all the same.
Yeah.
My brother Joachim Hans Darius. Darius.
Darius.
Darius. Ian in the chat says the Bible would have to be written about somebody, Dave. LOL.
Jesus.
Oh, man. You guys want to keep talking about this or is Jason a biblical name?
I think so.
Probably. Again, it fits my theory that eventually, yeah.
What about Isbell?
Yep. You said it right. How do you say his last name?
Was it not that?
It's you say it.
Isbell?
You say it.
Isbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isabel, people say sometimes. Isabel.
Isbell.
Isbel.
Isbell.
Isbel.
Jason Isbell is a biblical name.
Is it?
feel like-
Isbel. Is it?
He might disagree with that.
Well,
He definitely
I
disagrees
don't
with
give a
that.
shit.
That's who we're talking about today.
We're talking about Jason Isbell. We're talking
And
about
the 400 unit.
and the 400 unit, and specifically, we're talking about the album Reunions and the documentary that was made. It was released last year, right? And it was filmed in 2019 and 2020. The documentary is called
Running with Our Eyes Closed. I watched an interview. Someone interviewed him about it and kept saying it wrong.
About saying his name.
The name of the
wrong?
documentary.
Oh, what were they saying?
Running with Your Eyes Closed.
That person just can't read.
I know. But imagine interviewing Jason Isbell and not getting it right.
No. I like just that man in words already is frustrating enough. Just like in that first like fucking like whatever 10, 15 minutes of the documentary, just like them arguing about like that one stanza. It's like fuck this, I can't. But so
It didn't set me up for success with that documentary. Because I didn't know how much longer that was going to keep going, and then it kept going.
you kept going.
Words are important.
So the documentary follows Jason Isbell and the 400 unit recording the album Reunions in 2019. They released the album in 2020,
April of 2020.
which is a decision they made. Like they wanted to release the album during the pandemic because it was like, you know, they finished the album. They wanted to put it out.
Well, they thought it might be over soon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
'Cause it was like April, so
Thought they
we
were still going to go on tour.
yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
That was awesome.
He talks
I'm
about
turning that up later.
How that's great. Yeah, I dare you. He talks about how he likes to write songs about what's going on in his life at that moment
Yeah.
and how he feels in that moment. So he felt it would be weird to hold on to the record until the pandemic was over because he's like, I probably won't feel this way.
Those songs are
Right.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Those songs are past him now.
Yeah.
But let's take this back to the beginning, let's say, of just our experiences with Jason Isbell. So, Dave, you're a Jason Isbell stan.
Love him.
Yeah.
Incredible songwriter. The first song I heard from him was "Cover Me Up," and it's just a beautiful song. He wrote that song about getting sober. He talks about that a lot.
Yeah.
especially in the documentary.
Right.
There's a song on here called "It Gets Easier," I think it's called, but
Yeah.
it never gets easy.
Yeah.
And it's about being sober, and this song "Cover Me Up" is definitely about that. And it's about some painful experiences, which they talk about in the documentary. Since that song has come out, our old pal, who's that country singer that's a dickhead?
Jason Aldean?
No,
No.
he's also a dickhead. The guy that said the racial slurs.
Oh,
Morgan
Wallen.
Wallen.
Jason Aldean.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen, yeah.
Morgan Wallen has covered that song and turned it into a song. Basically, the music video portrays a veteran and not someone
Right.
who got sober. So he changed the meaning of the song. And I have students that don't know that it's by Jason Isbell.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not surprising
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's definitely not as popular
because he's
as
not
Morgan Wallen.
I would just say he's not super. I wouldn't say super well known, but super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, he's obviously won a bunch of awards and things, and he's well known within the music circles.
Yeah.
But he's not like on country radio.
Yeah.
much I would imagine.
He's a songwriter.
Right.
And he's a musician's musician.
I think a lot of people know the name, but a lot of people don't know the music. Like I
Yeah, that's true because he is also very outspoken.
yeah, but I also
Yeah.
think that I'm pretty sure he does get like country radio play, and that's why the name pops up. But I just don't think that anybody like knows. Like it's probably like one of those things that's like, oh, I know the name, and then I turn it off, or like I'm not paying attention because
Yeah.
it's not like the quote unquote pop country.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's funny to me how that happens. Like peripherally, that's a hard word to say. Peripherally. Did you get it?
Peripherally,
Peripherally?
periphery.
Periphery.
I thought that's where you were going.
No.
It's funny because this Jet band.
Someone like Brandi Carlile, who we all know, is more popular than Jason Isbell, but they're closely connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny to me when people know who Brandi Carlile is, but might not know Dawes
Right.
or Jason Isbell.
Right. Yeah. That I mean, there's I mean, like we talked about this. I think on Friday's live stream about Brandi Carlile just being like having the Phoebe Bridgers effect right now, where she's
Yeah,
just
she's on
everything.
everything.
She's just all over the place. And I think the interesting thing about that is I don't think a lot of people listen to her solo stuff.
Exactly.
I think that she just everyone just knows her name and just gets featured because she's awesome, because she's
Yeah.
really great at what she does.
She is really great. So she's a great songwriter, but for me, Jason Isbell is like, in terms of like lyric writing, he's up there with just the best, like Chris
Yeah.
Christopherson and all those people. This record, out of all of his records, is my least favorite.
Interesting.
But I love this record. It's really
Yeah.
good.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Adam, your experience history with
It
Jason
took so
Isbell
long
before
to
this.
answer that question.
Oh, it's okay. You just
I-
wouldn't shut the fuck up.
My experience has been Dave talking about him and his albums and his what we're listening to sections, and
Yeah.
I've never really listened to him.
Okay.
I was familiar with the name though. There's a designer who I like all his work, and he's done posters for him for the last like 10 years. More or
Gotcha.
less.
Oh, wow.
Worked with him a ton, and I've just seen his name everywhere, and I'm just been like, I don't know this country, I'm not going to listen to it,
Sure.
which is shitty.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've done this. We did this with
Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton. Now that you've listened to the record, what do you think about the record?
I think it's really good. I went and listened to, I guess there's 2 albums after this.
One album after
One album
this,
after
Weather
this.
Veins.
One album after this, and then one album before this.
I think that's
Nashville Sounds.
Nashville Sound.
Yeah.
So I listened to those, and then I listened to his first album just to check it out. It wasn't really for me.
Matt Pence is on that record.
Wow.
Yeah, he was in the 400 unit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Isn't that weird? I didn't know that until I started doing research for this.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went and listened to all of his shit.
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just went back to like his first album just to listen to how like different it is and how things have changed.
Right.
It's much different.
Yeah,
He-
it's much more. I don't want to say well produced. Like the first one's not well produced, but it's
Yeah.
more. There's more to it.
Yeah. This record, do you have any favorite songs?
I'm terrible at song titles, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet you
Yeah,
remember What Have I Done to Help?
I mean,
Yes,
for pretty much all of the songs, he says it over and over and over again. He does just repeat the fucking
I know.
song title a bunch. What's interesting is that you you're I 100% agree with the take on like one of the best like lyricists like of
Yeah.
our time. But it's so interesting thinking about, because I love this album, but like thinking about these songs, for most of them, he just repeats the same shit over and over and over again, and then you get into like the fucking down and dirty of it. It's like, oh, he's going hard, and then you hit the chorus,
Absolutely.
and he's just like same words, same words, same words, same words, same words. But yeah, so you enjoyed the Jason Isbell experience, Adam?
Yeah.
So that's kind of 2 for 2 for like
Country music.
Country
Yeah,
music.
I don't really know how this is country music. I guess
good. Yeah.
his voice isn't country esque. It's just kind of singer songwritery, like
Yeah.
Americana kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It feels very influenced by like rock in a lot of ways that are not obvious. Maybe I don't know. It does. I know he is country music, and Chris
considered.
Stapleton feels more like country music,
Absolutely.
and this feels even less like it, which is interesting.
Well, he's from
I guess it's more of like
Alabama.
a southern rock kind of like influence.
Yeah. I mean, like he talks about how he wants to like how he when he was a kid he wanted to like be in a rock band and how he talked about in the recording sessions like how he wanted this to be a rock band and all this kind of stuff. They kept using that phrase like rock music, rock band, and that's such an interesting thing because I guess I don't necessarily hear country music. I kind of hear it a little bit, but I mostly hear Americana, which is a close cousin of country music.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily hear like rock music, and even in the guitar solos they're just like so melodic, tasteful, and beautiful, right?
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's fiddle.
There is some of that.
Yeah.
That's like one of the only things.
He doesn't have like as hard of a country accent as like say a Chris Stapleton, but he does have a southern
Yeah,
accent.
it's there, but it's not prominent.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too that kind of threw me off was there are songs where it kind of sounds like they're like jam band kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I did not expect in a country album.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, his band is stacked.
Yeah.
The watching the thing that struck me the most in the documentary was just how quick Dave Cobb makes people record songs.
Yeah. Well, I found an article that was like because I watched that documentary last week and I thought about rewatching it and I was like let me just kind of review it and like read some stuff, and I found an article that was like all these points, and like the first point is Isbell isn't much for rehearsing in the studio, and it's like I think. And I'm just gonna give this away now. This is probably in my top 3 music documentaries ever. Like this is
really good.
This is an incredible documentary, and I think I'm biased because I think it's really good for musicians because it truly is like one of the best like peeling back the curtain documentaries I've seen of how a band can make an album the way that a lot of bands make albums, the way that a lot of musicians, session musicians, even though they are a band, make an album. You sit down, he plays the song, and you listen to it, you chart it out, maybe you don't chart it out, and then you go track it.
Yeah,
That's it.
they were doing takes, and Dave Cobb could see Chad Gamble, the drummer, and he was looking at him going 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like there's the part.
Yeah.
And they come up with this stuff immediately.
Yeah, and so here's one of the things too is like so in we were talking about the scene with the towards the beginning with like the lyrics and the breaking it down, but in that scene he's playing a song for everybody. And so like I said, there's like the thing where all the musicians are kind of around him while he's playing it. They all have their notepads out writing shit down, except for 2 people aren't writing anything down.
The keyboard player.
And the guitar player.
Yeah.
And the guitar player later in his like confessional is like, "Yeah, we charted out." I'm like, "Bitch, you're lying. You didn't chart shit. What are you talking about?" And before I even knew who was who, because it's like at the very beginning before you get introductions to anybody, I see 2 people charting, one person standing up, like Stander's the drummer.
Yep.
And then the bass player is also charting. The bass player's chart was the most detailed chart of anybody's whenever it zoomed in.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
It speaks for itself because
Yeah.
his playing on this record is incredible.
Yeah. So like as a documentary, and especially just in the first like 10-15 minutes, you get a gist of how amazing these musicians are, but also like kind of an expectation of sometimes what it is to be a musician in these situations. You have to be able to go on the fly and get the shit done.
Was that have you spent much time in like studios?
Not really.
Yeah.
But I think I get what you're saying though, because it's not a lot of like, oh, the band comes in and they have no idea what they're doing and nobody's doing anything and they're all making it up together, or it's like one genius made everything up. It's none of that. It's he's the songwriter, comes in with a song and then they make that happen.
Yeah.
It's
It's very obvious that they're all, I would assume, all session musicians primarily.
yeah,
So,
in one way or another.
Right.
They're all just at the top of their game.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do what they did. But I like his approach to it with the way he was talking about it when he said like, well, you can only play something for the first time once.
Yeah.
And he's like, I really enjoy capturing those moments. He's like, once I write the songs, my hard work is done. I feel bad for my band because they have to do it so quick.
Yeah.
And to
Well,
and
he
to-
can take all the time he wants to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and kind of extrapolate on that idea, like as a musician, we talked about this in the show, I'm sure before, but like, we can, as a musician in any situation, you can hear a song you've recorded on, you can play that song, and you can continue to grow and change your part over time. But once you capture in the studio, that's it. And you kind of have to just be like, cool, that's it. Call it a day. And the situation that they're in is the best kind of situation for that, where it's like, cool, here's the song, let's go record it, boom, that's a wrap for today.
Yeah.
You can't go back and go fix it. You've already done it. That's it. That's like the Buck Meek thing he did, where he like brought everybody in. They learned the songs beforehand, and then they came in. They recorded the album for like basically a whole day. They just kept doing it over and over and over again, all live takes. Took a break, came back and did it again like the next day, and that was how like there was no overdubs. It was just okay. You know your parts, go play. That's it.
Yeah. Let's get the record all the way through.
Yeah.
It's fun when you're in it. We've done that before with Neil Ryan and the Mistreated.
Yeah.
We did a song in the studio at like the last minute. It was a quick song, decently easy, but like
I mean, it was like a punk rock song.
Yeah. So we just threw it together and did that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to do that all the time. I like having stuff figured out a little bit. So can we start with listening to the bass at the intro of What Have I Done to Help?
Yeah.
Because Jimbo Hart is the bass player. I don't know what other projects he's been involved in. I do know that he's done a lot of recording because I see him posting a lot about stuff that he's recorded on.
This is not meant to be really mean, but I always find it so interesting when real people are named Jimbo.
Like not a nickname?
I find that to
Or
be
a
like
fictional character?
Yeah, not a fictional character. His name is Jimbo. Like someone named him that. That's crazy. And he's just lived his life like that.
He's a Jimbo.
Yeah, he is a Jimbo.
He is a Jimbo.
He is a Jimbo, but like that's wild.
He's got a very similar beard to Adam.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube.
Should we start calling Adam Jimbo?
How would you feel about that?
No.
No? Okay.
Is he
Jalbum?
Okay.
It's getting
more
more
say,
out
what
there.
is he named after?
Who knows?
Do we know? But there's a movie called Yo Jimbo from way back. So I wonder if that's that.
okay.
If the timing.
It's funny when they catch up with him during the pandemic. You know, they go through that scene. And Sam, what's the guy's name that directed it? Sam, I forget his last name. Anyway, he that shows Jimbo just like mowing his lawn on a long lawnmower.
So good.
And he's like, I'd rather be out there playing shows right now,
Yeah.
but we got this here pandemic going on. I miss my band. I even want to just play for the chickens.
Hey, you can, bud.
Exactly. Yeah. Go practice your shit. Of course, it shows the drummer and he's practicing his rudiments and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's actually fucking just nonstop playing. So real quick, actually, before we play the song, so this is part of that Music Box series that HBO Max is doing. That's all these like amazing music documentaries. We've talked about a couple before.
The Alanis Morissette one.
Alanis Morissette one, yeah. And all these documentaries are great. This so far has been my favorite one. But the director and producer Sam Jones. Yeah.
He has that great podcast / show where everything's in black and white. It's called In Conversation. I think.
Yeah. And he has like that's one of like the most famous Dave Grohl interviews. Is that one?
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole series, I can't find the guy's name right now, but the whole series, the Music Box stuff. If you go on HBO Max, there's just like at least like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah, they're all really good.
Yeah. Okay, so run it. What have I done to help? Let's start with that.
What my least favorite song on the record because of how repetitive the chorus is.
Sure. Yeah.
But the message is
it's also
good.
6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So
and the last like
Yeah, there are some very long songs for what I expected to be short.
right. Okay, here we go.
listen to the bass.
What have I done to help somebody save me? What have I done to help? What have I done to help? Not myself. What have I done?
Okay, so does he have like? So is he muting at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's muting.
So he also plays not like a regular bass.
He has a Sadowski bass that he uses a lot. He has a couple of P basses that he uses a lot. He also has a ukulele bass.
He was playing that uke bass
A lot.
quite a bit in
Yep.
this documentary.
Yeah, he plays it on stage too.
It's crazy. I was very the sound was very shocking. He does a lot of this stuff throughout the record. That's like it's not traditional bass line work, but it also doesn't. It never feels like it's stepping on a toe.
I know.
It's so easy for a bass line like this to step on everybody's toes.
I do it all the time.
I feel like there's a really good chance that if I heard a bass player play that, I'd be like, maybe what if you didn't? Like, there's a really good chance that you're stepping on your singer's toes, unless you have Jason Isbell as your fucking like singer. You know?
I know.
That's the thing.
Well, and as a bass player or as a musician, when I hear that line is just being repeated over and over again in the chorus,
Yeah.
it's like you heard it once, you got it. So then there's room for something like that to happen.
Right.
For bass to do a little more stuff. Because it also just blows me away when I think about how quickly they recorded this stuff.
Right.
And that's what he came up with.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My I would err on the side of playing really simple and safe.
Yeah.
But this is just experience in the studio. I think this is like their 8th record.
Well, I was gonna say, and they've worked together so much
Right.
Exactly.
that they are all on the same page about like what's fine to do or where you can push it or where you should just not.
So
Yeah.
I can't remember, was this the first song they worked on in the documentary?
I think the first song they worked on might have been the one about the hotel key, the hotel room key.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
a
yeah.
stranger who slips.
That's right. Yeah. So that in that section we talked about it before. We talked about it already, but just to clarify, there is a section after they do the whole like breakdown of the song where Jason and his wife Amanda Shires, who is a big part of this documentary, she's also the fiddle player and backup singer.
Yeah.
They have a very long argument about what words to use, whether it's grammatically correct or whether it just sounds better or anything like that about the lyric in that song. And I think there's something that I took away, but from this documentary, aside from just like the whole like peeling back the curtain of musician thing, but also these people are some of the most poignant and beautifully spoken people that I've ever fucking heard in a studio setting that first of all doesn't make me cringe my fucking
They're not saying something to seem smart or anything.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like peel back, like I'm not trying to like pull my skin off because of how cringy it was. It's just like that's the most like beautiful thing you could have said about this.
Yeah.
So when they fight about these words, they mean it. They are like
yeah.
it is like, no, it's the fucking present participle. Like it's like
I was like, what? I don't know what those fucking
You have
words
to go
mean.
look up what that means.
how brave of him to argue with her who has a creative writing degree.
Exactly.
She went and got, because I was so curious about this. Amanda Shires was like like I said, fiddle player and singer and also songwriter.
Great artist in her own right.
Yeah. And so she, to get better, went and got her master's in creative writing. It wasn't like she just got that and then was a songwriter. She was already like a touring musician, and like it was somewhere like the 2010s or something. She went back and got her master's in creative writing so she could be even fucking better.
Because she says in the documentary that she's been touring since she was like 14.
Yeah. Yeah, when she
And-
said that, I was like, I gotta figure out how she did this. This is
exactly.
crazy. Yeah.
Got
This
her
is
master's at
insane.
14.
Yeah. Fucking super genius.
There
over
are people that do that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, you little asshole.
Yeah. So their relationship is kind of front and center in this documentary.
Oh, yeah. And you can tell that early on, because I've watched it twice. I watched it when it came out and then again for this. And it's like they immediately start showing that she's like, hey, I know that you're fucking stressed and that you're not letting me know that you're stressed.
Yeah.
And you're acting like a dick.
And he's like, to go back to what you said earlier, where he was like, the easy part's like now for me, the hard part's done. It was right in the song. And she's like, he's fucking lying.
Yeah.
He's fucking lying through his teeth. He is so stressed out. He's not gonna like be done being stressed until the album is out in the world.
Yeah.
And then there will be a new stress.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like kind of like watching like their like it almost was reality TV-ish in that way, but it still was like, I mean, none of it felt fake. It just felt genuine.
It's almost like narration or like director commentary coming from her about like he's full of shit. Like he's very stressed out.
Don't listen to him. He's lying.
And then when they did like their confessionals together, and there was the one that ended with him being like, I'm done now. I'm fucking done.
I
And
don't
just,
think
like,
I can go any further.
Yeah, just like pulls the mic out, like I'm done now. It's like, holy fuck, dude.
You don't see that a lot in these documentaries. I find all too often if you have a documentary of, say, like, your Justin Biebers and your Katy Perrys, it's very on the surface. Even the Taylor Swift documentary, which got a little deeper, it still felt on the surface.
I think that
It's still marketing for
exactly.
Yeah.
most musicians. I think the reason maybe it's not here is that his writing is very honest and
Right.
and authentic, I guess would be
Yeah.
the right word. It's very like clear that he's saying what he thinks, and he's obviously comfortable with that in his
Yeah.
writing. So it makes sense that the documentary kind of matches that.
I didn't watch it, but I think the Selena Gomez documentary was supposed to be pretty.
It was really good.
I heard that one was pretty revealing, but
Yeah.
it's hard to be as open as this documentary.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to be, and it does a great job of kind of going back and explaining his past, like while putting it into comparison to like where he was in 2019 recording the album.
He came from a lot of this record. He said at first he just started writing songs, and then he quickly realized that a lot of it was about stuff that he wasn't willing to address in the 8 years prior that he was sober.
Yeah.
Because he was just ashamed of looking back at the past in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also why they made the documentary, because he was more open to talking about it. But he came from a broken home. His parents were like 16. And when 16. They had him.
I think dad was 16, mom was 15, I think.
Yeah, which is like so young.
Yeah.
And then
he has a song about that, like
children of children,
yeah,
or
children
only
of children.
That one and only children.
Yeah.
And also Dreamsicles.
Dreamsicles about
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
like breaking up.
Yeah.
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 Pretty nasty divorce. That
Yeah.
but it's like they just weren't ready to be parents.
Well, it was a nasty divorce that Jason Isbell was like, just fucking do it.
yeah.
Just like, what was that story where he broke glass so they would stop fighting?
He threw a baseball through a window on
so
purpose.
They would just stop fighting.
Yeah.
And like probably the most brutal part about that is that when in the documentary, when like they interview his parents and they're just like, yeah, he dealt with us just screaming at each other, hating each other, not wanting to be around each other. Like he has always just muscled through this.
Yeah. And he's like, if you turn a guitar up loud enough, you can't really hear your parents fighting.
Yeah.
It's like, poor fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now you understand how he got to the point of breaking something so they'd stop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck. And that I think it was in Dreamsicle. That's the one, like you said, about them breaking up, where like the whole thing is like dad's like staying in a hotel, like we're gonna leave now, and like I'm gonna buy you this thing to hopefully calm you down.
Yeah,
and like
it's like a baseball card or something. Like, why can't Daddy just come home, forgive whatever he did wrong?
Yeah,
he's in a hotel all alone, and we need him.
Yeah,
it's like fuck.
Yeah,
but interestingly enough, too, in the documentary, he ends up sleeping in a hotel.
Yeah, and that scene is absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
So it's like they have gone through. We've seen now like them, Jason and Amanda Shires fighting throughout this whole documentary, and then like Dave Cobb, the producer, who we should say also did the Chris Stapleton record. We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
We like he's done. We talked about it in that episode, but we should say again, this guy is a fucking producer extraordinaire.
Yeah, maybe that's the secret for country music for me.
It's at least the secret for bass players to get good tone, because every fucking note that the guy
you can
in Chris
actually hear it,
Stapleton, you can hear every note. He also did the Dawes record.
That's your favorite one, right?
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but
is that
What's your favorite one?
Well, actually, my favorite one is the one before that. We're all gonna die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so they're like, we've seen them now fight. We've seen them go through it, and they're like, they're finishing a day at the studio, and Dave Cobb's like, hey man, like just go home, just sleep it off. It's okay. And he's like, I'm gonna go stay at the Omni tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not going home.
I'm not going home tonight.
Yeah.
Because Dave Cobb was like, you should just leave your phone outside of your, like, leave it on the front step.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think people at the Omni would like my phone just
Yeah.
hanging out of my door.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. That sucks.
And when I was watching that, I was like, what did he just, that was so nonchalant.
Yeah, I know.
That was just the most nonchalant way to be like, imagine like you're like we're leaving work and you're like, you going home? Like, no, I think I'm gonna go
stay at the Best Western.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stay at the Best
I'm
Western.
going to go stay at the Best Western.
And then just leave. And you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, no more context.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Dave Cobb doesn't need the context. He's watched them.
He's heard it all. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's
I'm sure internally he's just like, yeah.
Yeah. So this album has so much about his parents and like his childhood, but also has stuff about his kid, his daughter.
Yeah, Mercy.
And I think that was one of the scenes that I like absolutely sobbed the most in. Whenever Mercy comes to the studio and they're like chilling on the couch and he's like, what do we call each other? And she's like, BFF. He's like, BFF. That's right. Best friends forever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, shut up. Like,
Yeah.
God, they're going to be friends forever.
And she's like, so are you gonna throw out your old songs?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm not gonna. She mentions a couple. I forget what they
She
are.
says anxiety
And
else.
another one.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll play those for as long as you want to hear them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
My god.
And what's the song that's
Letting You Go?
Yeah, Letting You Go. That one is like when they track it, Dave Cobb's like, don't worry. She's only like 4.
You got a lot of time.
You got a
left.
lot of time before you have to let her go.
Yeah. And the first time Dave Cobb hears it, he goes, "You fucking asshole." Yeah. And the first time Isbell tries to record it, he like stops halfway through because he can't hold it. He can't hold it in. Did you happen to listen to If We Were Vampires? That song?
Yes. I don't know what album that's off of, but
it's on the one before this one.
Yeah.
Nashville Sound, I think.
Yeah.
Unbelievable song, but it's about like, what if he and his wife were vampires and they could live forever? Would they worry about holding hands? Would they worry about all these things? But this one, Letting You Go, is about like, I mean, should we listen to a little bit?
Let's listen to a little bit. Yeah.
It's like, I don't even have kids, and I was listening to this one like, fuck, this is a sad song.
Nurse helped us buckle your seat in the car, and they sent us on our way. I drove home so slow, we had no instructions. The first days were hard, but there's things about babies a woman just knows.
Didn't like that line.
Yeah,
Why?
That line felt weird.
Yeah.
Why?
3 in the morning.
I understand it's a nice sentiment, but it just
And there is a maternal instinct.
That is a thing. It just felt oddly out of place for his other personal beliefs.
Yeah. Nice in that line.
Exactly, and that's all it is.
Whenever I hear stuff like that,
It just sticks out though.
I tend to go in like defensive mode of like, hey, just be a dad. Don't just think that the fucking mom has to do things. Just be a dad. And I know that's not where he's coming from with this.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But whenever I hear like those kinds of lines
But
like
if Morgan Wallen covers the song,
exactly, yeah. That's the only line in the song that I was like, fuck. Everything else, this is so like it doesn't even have to rhyme. It just fits perfectly, like from stanza to stanza, like phrase to phrase. It's so nice.
There's another part, and there's another song and another lyric on this record where he says, if you tell the truth enough, it doesn't have to rhyme.
Yeah.
And then I heard this song, I was like, what a fucking genius.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Lay my hand over your heart just to know you were safe in your sleep. When you started walking, I fight back the urge to stay right there beside you, keep you on your feet.
this song is much more country.
This song is much more
100%.
country.
Being your daddy comes natural.
That fucking side stick sounds so
good. It's easy to see that you'll get where you're going.
You're gonna get a peek into Fridays, Adam.
The hard part is
All right,
Our cicada hi-hat.
didn't expect that.
Yeah. So this song is like truly like one of the most beautiful things that I've heard anyone in this style do.
ends the album, right?
Yeah, this is the end. And here's the other thing too, is that like I do think his voice is pretty country. Obviously, this song is more country than the others, but I do think his voice is pretty country. But what his voice does in the country style that is really impressive is he is a fucking tenor. He can fucking hit those high notes, and it like when he's doing it in the documentary and he's like just kind of showing them the songs and he just nails a high note. It's like, you fucking bastard, are you kidding me? Yeah, like, and he's not even like I'm sure he's trying, but the fact that he's like, because like one of the things too is I believe that this man has a baby face.
100%.
Jason Isbell has a baby face.
Yeah.
And like whenever like it showed him joining what's the
Drive-By Truckers.
Drive-By Truckers. I thought he was like 16. I looked it up and I was like, that man's 22.
Was he? I thought he was a kid.
He was 22 when he joined the Drive-By Truckers. Yeah.
Insane.
And his mom dropped him off at 22.
He looked like he was in like middle school.
Yeah,
he did.
Looks like a fucking baby. And so like the fact that he's always sounded this way, it hasn't changed. Like even
that was astounding.
Back then, he sounds just like he does now.
Yeah.
And it has looked and always sounded like the easiest thing in the world to him.
And what he's done to his like his he had a pretty gnarly run with like drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking gnarly.
Yeah, they had to kick
Yeah,
him out
he-
of the band.
Yeah.
He's just casually like, well, I did some coke and then some PCP and then some
I
other
drank
things.
an entire handle of Jack.
Well, he at one point he's even like, I don't know what I did, but I woke up in a different town or whatever.
Yeah,
he's
it was
saying.
covered in
Like,
blood.
Yeah.
What's the band leader, the founder of Drive By Truckers is like, I told his mom that I would take care of him, and then
Yeah.
this happened. I felt awful, and I had to kick him out for it.
See, that just reinforced that I thought he was like in middle school.
Well, because Jason Isbell says like when they came to pick me up, I told my mom like, please don't, or I think she might say like, he was like, please don't embarrass me. Don't say like, take care of my son or anything like that. And then she's like, take care of my son.
But hey, man, you're having your mom drop you off when you're 22.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. It's wild.
Like if Dave's mom dropped him off at work tomorrow,
I would love that.
Dave would love that. But
No, I'd be like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
If my mom dropped me off at work tomorrow, I'd be like, where's your cars?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like,
yeah. I'd be like, why is your mom here?
Yeah.
She lives in Canada.
she just drove down and dropped you off.
My mom I didn't get my driver's license till I was 25. So she had to do a
things
lot
are
of
different
dropping me
there,
off. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, the hearing his voice from then to now and how exactly the same it is and how he obviously has grown so much as a person, but like musically, and he talks about how like, if I didn't do this, I don't know, I couldn't do anything else. This is the only thing I can do. He's like, I have to create, I have to be musical, I have to do art, otherwise I have nothing.
And he said it comes first.
Yeah.
He's like, I love my wife, I love my kid.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's the point in the documentary where he's like hasn't seen his kid in however long that was. I don't remember, but it was long enough where he's like making a point about it. Like, I haven't seen her.
Was it ever clear to you who was watching Mercy?
No, and I thought that was very strange. Very strange.
Like it was
They're just like, just
It must have
somebody
been a
was
nanny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
a nanny and Amanda Shires' parents.
Okay, I figured it was
makes more
someone's
sense.
parents.
Yeah.
I figured it was someone's parents, and I figured it was a nanny. Those are my best guesses.
But after
I-
they like mentioned they have a kid, I'm just like, nobody's mentioned like where she is.
Where's
all
the kid
during
at?
this. And like y'all have
And then
been
he,
here
like,
for a
fucking
while.
FaceTimes with her, and they're both in the studio, and I'm like, who did that?
Yeah. Kid's like 4 and has an iPhone and they're FaceTiming.
Exactly. I need a new phone, Dad. Shit.
You gonna keep playing Anxiety or what, Dad? Fuck.
That's funny.
But yeah, like it truly like the baby face, the sound, that was kind of like, aside from the poignancy of them, that was one of the most amazing things to me. It's how easy this all comes to him. It's clear that the band has put the hours in to be as good as they are. Not saying Jason hasn't. He has obviously put the hours in to be as good as he is.
That's all he did.
But like, he has always, from the first video, the recordings you can hear of him, it's like, well, cool. He's just always been this fucking good.
Right.
This is crazy.
That scene where he's playing the song Decoration Day on stage, like on the first tour that he was on with the Drive By Truckers. And they were just like, holy shit, dude. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And he just starts singing. And that's exactly the same thought I had. Hagen was like, oh my God, he's always sounded like that.
It's absolutely insane.
And live, like with this stuff, it's incredible. The like live at Austin City Limits that they did, amazing.
Yeah.
They, for the CD release for this record, because it was still very much in the throes of the pandemic, he and Amanda did a duo set.
Yeah.
Right,
And
which
it was-
is in the documentary some.
Yeah.
Yeah, that live stream is really amazing. Just like seeing the clips of like, 'cause they were like pulling people who were like watching it live with like signs that were like, I've been sober for X amount of time too, like that kind of shit. Absolutely beautiful.
There were posters of kids, because I watched that whole thing when it happened, and there was kids saying, like, this is my first live concert.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the documentary too. So cool. So I want to take us to the album for a second. I know Adam, you already asked, but if you looked at the song titles, is there any song that is like a favorite of yours? While you're thinking of that, I'm going to answer with "Running with Our Eyes Closed" and "Dreamsicle." Those two.
I was going to say Dreamsicle, yeah.
Yeah, those two are the ones
Off
that,
of this album.
I think it's "Running with Our Eyes Closed." That's the one that has where the snare is like really loose. He's playing like all these like buzz rolls on the big hits, and I think it's that song.
Yeah, I think it is.
And it really fucking just makes the song already feel like it's a cheesy thing, but it's like it kind of adds to the running effect of the whole thing. And it's to me, it's like I know it's like the song that's the name of the documentary, but it just feels like the most like fully fledged, energetic, put together song on the album.
Let's hear a
Yeah.
little bit of "Running with Our Eyes Closed" because my favorite part of it is the actual line "Running with Our Eyes Closed."
And how all the instruments play with it.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's
You want me
so
to,
good.
You want me to fast forward to that?
yeah. Let's fast forward to that.
I'll do this.
I love that. That's a great.
On the stand, running with our eyes closed.
And he says it a lot in the song, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't get
It's not
oversaid.
negative. Yeah.
No, and this is the song, so you might as well let it keep playing. He says, "Well, you are who you are when you're angry."
You are when you're angry, when you're scared or you're sad.
And this is the line they argued about.
When a stranger slipped you a room key to a hotel room you couldn't afford.
To a hotel room you couldn't afford.
Man, it was so
Is that stressing you out?
It was so frustrating. I was like,
Spent 10 minutes on that?
Yeah.
That we saw?
That we saw. And,
Yeah.
Had to be hours.
Hours.
The best part of that is that he pulls out the lyrics to like sing it to everybody, and he's like, "I see you put a note in here that you want me to change this." And she's like, "Yeah, I changed it to this because it makes a little more sense." And see, I thought about that, but then I think that it should be this because that makes more sense, and it's that. For
He's like,
ten-
I didn't want to say hotel room twice. Or
And-
I didn't want to say the room.
Or it was slipped you a room key for a hotel, or slipped you like it was
hotel
2
key.
4
Like room, yeah.
It was all of this different shit. Didn't want to say hotel twice. He thought that if you said a certain word, it sounded like you were talking about the whole hotel, not just the room specifically.
like the key to the hotel.
He was arguing
Yeah.
he was arguing that if you say slipped you a key, it made sense rather than saying slipped you a room key, which I get what he's saying
Yeah.
there.
I
But
do, but at the same time, no one is ever going to listen to the song and be like, well, he was talking about a key to the hotel.
that was my thought the entire time. I was like, who is listening to this, having this inner fucking monologue?
Well, it's a very particular
Yeah.
part of it
It's-
that doesn't matter
it's
because
really-
it's not important to the song even.
It's really good that they had the conversation because it shows how much they care. But
Yeah.
as a viewer of that documentary, I'm like, fucking shut up. Like, I don't know how I
Cut
could be the
this
drummer.
out.
Yeah, I don't know how I could be the, no, don't cut it out in the documentary.
No, leave
It's
it in.
No, you have to
amazing.
leave it in. You have to get past it because I did briefly think like, I don't know if I can do this.
You thought the whole thing
I
was
was
going to
like,
be that?
there's another hour and a half left. What the fuck is
No,
this?
they really do a good job.
I don't know if I could be the drummer in that session while that was happening.
I used
Just
to
gotta
sit. He's
just
just
be like
sitting
Ringo
there.
and just hang out and do nothing.
I just fart. So this is so
Just fart.
this is the.
I faulted.
There you go.
So I want to hear the chorus one more time, and I want everyone to listen to the snare drum very carefully. Listen to how he's very loose on it. Now it's not like he's not just like letting his hand go. He's very intentionally rolling his left hand on the snare.
I think it shows him playing the
It
groove.
does. It does. Yeah. But I'm gonna go to the next chorus and just listen to that snare drum.
To be still. Running with our eyes closed.
So loose.
Listen to the keyboard textures too. The keyboard player is so good at
So
that.
good.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's also the best part is when they're like he's catching up with everybody during the pandemic, and the manager's like, "Yeah, I called the keyboard player, and he's just building a spaceship with his synths."
He's got this massive like.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Because it's like a whole wall of
Oh, yeah.
like Moogs or whatever.
Yeah.
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 Remember in like the I think it might have been the 60s or the 70s, like the original synthesizers were not these little keyboards.
Yeah.
They were like fucking spaceship looking things.
Yeah.
And,
And
he's got one of
But
those.
they
Well,
took
he-
up like a whole room.
Exactly.
I think he has multiple synths, and he's just
Yeah.
running the lines and like doing all that shit to it. It's
yeah,
crazy.
It's like for anyone who might not know what it is, it's like in movies where they show like the old telephone lines and the people that
Yeah,
used to work
switchboards.
connect the
Yeah.
switchboard
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they're moving wires in. It's like, let me connect you.
yeah, exactly.
Dude,
yeah.
that's what he's fucking doing. And then it like hits a key and it's like, woo.
It did
that's
look
exactly
like he handled the pandemic and like quarantine a lot better
Yeah.
than some other people in
Yeah,
this documentary.
The guitar player.
The guitar player was struck. He was the one they showed with the Roomba. He
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
really fucking
Just
sad.
watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's like
that's my friend.
Not even like watching his cat on it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you almost hit me with the microphone.
Oh, I'm
his
sorry.
name is Sadler Vaughn or Sadler Vaden.
Wait, the guitar player?
Vaden?
His
Yeah.
name is Sad.
Sadler. That's funny. That's really funny. There's
That's so fucking funny. Holy
it-
shit.
during their Tiny Desk concert. There's a clip where Jason's like tuning, and then he turns around and looks at Sadler, and he goes, "Sorry," or no, I think he said like "Thank you," and he's like, What happened there? What just happened? It's just like he gets scared easily.
That's so
But he's an
funny.
incredible guitar player,
So
too.
good, so good. But yeah, these players, like the drummer on this track in particular, like that like light hit on the snare, again, it adds that running effect. It also feels like it's multi-tracked drums. It feels like there's someone else doing something, and to me, it also adds almost like a brush effect.
Yeah.
It feels like there are brushes involved, but it's not. It's just he's just playing his snare really, and there are drummers who do this.
Can we hear the intro again? I just want
Yeah.
to hear that tasty guitar riff.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with drums, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Like the cross stick thing. Yeah.
The hi hat.
That riff
Yeah.
is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And then when in the documentary, Jason Isbell's playing this, and Dave Cobb's like, "Hey, let's start with that,"
Yeah.
and he's like, "Don't play it like chords, like break it up a little bit."
So good.
And how
What
quickly,
great like direction.
unbelievable. There's another
Yeah.
one, I can't remember what it is, but it might be St. Peter's Autograph. That's the one where he counts them in. He's like, "Hey, hold off, don't play anything."
Yeah.
But can you scroll through the track listing again? I think it's Only Children.
Okay.
Where let's hear the beginning of that. Oh, it's not this one. I can't remember what it is, but I got chills watching the documentary because Dave Cobb was like, "Hey, we should do like a timpani kind of thing there,
Yeah.
with the guitar part." And then as soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's exactly what's on the fucking record."
Yeah. It's crazy.
So he works quick, but he works smart.
Yeah.
that
works
Dave Cobb.
So smart. And
Well, and he's still like very involved. It's not like he's telling them like, no, just come in and record shit.
Yeah, he's
like,
like,
get out of here.
It's not like, "Hey, just get it done.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my studio."
we talk about people who have just like visions of songs, right? Like Paul McCartney, right?
Yeah.
Paul McCartney is someone who can see the beginning and the end and the middle of a song in a matter of moments.
Well, and just like
he gets
visualize the whole thing. Not
Yeah.
visualize because it's audio, but you
No,
know
but
what I mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
But you see, so it's songwriter who sees like the whole thing, and Dave Cobb's a producer who sees like what Jason Isbell wants, and then also can see like, well, here's what we could do.
Yeah.
Like here's what the song could and maybe should be is this thing, you know?
And every suggestion we see him make in the documentary is how it ended up on the record.
Yeah, and that's
Every
and that-
single one.
The really cool thing about that too is like to have to trust a producer that much to just let him just to make the calls and
Yeah.
then boom, the calls work every single fucking time, and also to be like a support system. Also, how young is Dave Cobb? He looks really young.
I was about to say he looks
he's
like
gotta be, like,
He's
he,
in his 40s.
Is he in his 40s? He looks
so,
like he's in his
yeah.
30s. He looks
I was
great.
about to say he looks like he came off the bus at middle school.
he's 49 years old.
Wow.
No fucking shit.
Does he have a super stress-free life?
Do you think, does he look stressed?
That guy doesn't look stressed at
No,
all.
that's what
No.
I mean. He looks like he's never experienced any stress.
Yeah.
There's like a fucking like angry couple fighting in the same room as him, and he's like, "What if we did this on the track?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I did find weird about the documentary was when Amanda Shires is basically like, "I can't be in the studio anymore. I'm done with this. I don't want to I can't be around you unless you're going to be honest with me."
Yeah.
And she dips. The way that he just casually comes in the studio and everybody's like, "Hey man, what's up?" He's like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" It's like, if it were me
Yeah.
and you in a studio,
Yeah.
I would be like, "What's wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Can
It's
we
crazy.
talk?"
But that's happened a bunch of them, I'm sure.
I know, yeah.
and like in front of the band. I'm sure the argument about words was not the first time they've had that argument.
I also
yeah.
hate
And
to.
so that's probably happened while they're in a session or while they're writing and stuff. And
yeah.
yeah.
I also hate to make an assumption that it might be just guys.
It could be that, yeah.
It might just be a group of guys that know each other, and there is that stereotype about like a group of guy friends who just don't really all talk about their feelings. You know, like
especially if they're you're older,
yeah. I mean, this like
older generations.
I totally could see it as a situation where, you know, your band leader is clearly going through something. You're part of the band, but you're also kind of this hired guy. And so like you're
and he's your boss.
You're very
Yeah.
good friends with him. They talk very fondly, like the scene where they're like all eating before they go do it. It's like, oh my god, that's what being in a band is.
Yeah.
But then I could totally see it a situation where it's like, you know, you see that happen, and your instinct is to just put your head down, and he'll tell
do the
me
work.
if he needs to.
It is funny when he does play Letting You Go, And then he talks about crying in the studio. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have a bunch of hired guns in my band.
True.
Because they'd be like, who the fuck is this guy crying at his own songs?
I think he says,
what
this
a
son of a bitch.
jackass.
This son of a bitch crying at his own songs.
I think I truly think the biggest takeaway for me on this whole thing was I think I agree it's not my favorite Jason Isbell album.
Yeah.
I think that as a documentary and album pair though, it is probably one of the best like pairings you could get.
When it tells his like personal story
Yeah.
much more than I wouldn't say more than the other albums, but like the constant throughout this album is his personal story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's his, especially like his childhood, and then also
Yeah.
like where he is now with like his kids and being sober. I mean, he does that a lot, but like it really feels a lot like very kind of big picture idea. Plus, again, like the pairing with the documentary and seeing kind of how all of it came to be, it truly is like one of the most well put together like kind of duos, if you will.
Yeah.
And like I said, this documentary is probably in my top 3 of music documentaries ever. It's phenomenal.
It's right below the Foo Fighters doc for me.
Yeah, it goes the Foo Fighters doc, it goes the Metallica doc,
Some kind of monster?
some kind of monster.
Didn't expect that.
No, me neither.
I fucking love that documentary. It's a comedy.
It's really good.
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
It's that shit. I could watch. The only downside of the documentary to me is that it's fucking like 3.5 hours long.
yeah,
or
and
whatever.
that Lars is in it.
No, I love that because that's if anyone's like, why do you hate Lars? Like, watch this documentary.
Yeah.
You'll get it. I promise you'll understand why I hate this guy when you watch this documentary. Right now it probably is the Foo Fighters documentary, the Metallica documentary, and this one.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The saddest part of the documentary is when Amanda reads the email that she sent to Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
And it's like after she's done reading it, because like her public persona is that of an extremely strong, feminine, like a strong woman.
Yeah.
Like that's her. She very proudly wears that, and I love it very much. She had a complication with her reproductive health and like almost died from it.
Yeah.
So she's a big supporter of like reproductive rights, as we all are. But to see her cry is like, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Because you can tell she's trying not to, like on camera.
Yeah.
You can also tell in the email that she's trying to be still a very supportive partner.
Yeah.
You can tell in the email
Right,
that
to
she's
be
like
super clear, but not and using words the right way. And
Yeah,
everything.
she's-
and not being like mad or anything about
Exactly.
Yeah, she's very, very clear with the idea of like, I know something's wrong and I need you to help me help you. Like
Yeah.
it's very, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And I thought the like one of the most amazing moments in that, even though it's very sad, was I got excited about the idea of couples therapy. I'm like, that is very sad, but also incredible. Like that's that I hate to say it, that's brave, so brave.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing documentary album pairing. I do think there are songs in this album that I not necessarily go without. It's a great album still, but it kind of, you know, listening to it today right before we started, I was like, there's stuff on here that's like, you know, it kind of seems to kind of blend together and doesn't really feel like I'm getting too many places. But when I think about the documentary, I'm like, oh, all these songs are great. You know?
Right. I think my favorite from the record is "Be Afraid."
Oh, that's a great one.
The back half of that song with the guitar that's I think it's on like a tremolo or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
It's so good. Can we listen to the back half of that?
Yeah, of course.
Please and thank you, because I just want to hear it.
Cool.
And the lyrics in this one are great.
Let's say like here.
Sure.
Do that?
Yeah.
Is there unless
Or
maybe
even further back.
maybe there's a lyric.
There we go. He goes, we don't take requests. We won't shut up and sing. If you tell the truth enough, you'll find it rhymes with everything.
Yeah.
We've been testing you and you failed to see how long you could hold it in, but you only exhaled.
That's great.
I don't think you even recognize the sound of your voice when it's blasting through the speakers in the sky. And if your words add up to nothing, then you're making a choice to sing a cover when you need a battle cry.
That's so good.
Fuck off with that lyric. Come on.
We'll start with this chorus right here. Does that work?
Yeah, that's perfect. Hear the guitar? And then hear the swells from the keyboard player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. With that bell on the ride.
The bell. This is probably one of the punchiest kick sounds
Yeah.
on this
very
record.
punchy.
That contributes to it feeling not like a country song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
'Cause
sure.
It's very much like a moving song, and not all country feels that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, yeah, dude,
Sits there.
it's great. The textures are wild in this song. And the sentiment of the whole song, be afraid, be very afraid, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's like a great mantra.
That's like one of my favorite things that whenever I saw Theo Katzman last, he went on this long speech about like courage exists in doing the thing that we're afraid of. Like he's like fuck the idea of courage, but like go be afraid and do that thing, and that's where like that's like be afraid, be very afraid, but do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Live in that fear, and then the best kind of shit exists from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really sorry that my dog is crying, if you guys can hear that. Man. Yeah, it's truly to me is like a lot of these lyrics, again, he just keeps repeating it, but it's so poignant and so clear. I tried to find I tried to be more articulate when I was watching this documentary, thinking in my head, like, how can I describe how well spoken these people are about what, like, lyrically in the confessionals, they are. You just have to watch it. I can't be as articulate as them. I can't find the way.
It's all very intentional too, but there's not like pauses where they're like thinking about what they're saying. They just know what they're gonna say, and they just fucking say it. I'm sure there's editing involved in some of that.
Yeah,
but like
it doesn't seem like a lot though.
Even then, it doesn't seem like a lot. Yeah, because they're just
podcast.
like they're just saying things, and then it's just like that's so clear and intentional from everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And the part where he talks about like, I work with my wife and I'm an alcoholic. So he's like, so when I have a hard day at the studio, I can't just come home and have a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
He's like, and what am I going to talk to you about? We've been at the studio together all day. You know what's going on in my life.
Fuck.
And she's like, well, then you need to find something else.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I can play guitar, but I've been doing that all day at the studio. She's like, okay. I get that.
He just doesn't know anything else.
Exactly. It's
yeah.
like, do something else. I love the way they communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Or, well, I don't like the way they don't communicate.
Sometimes, yeah.
Both are good.
Yeah. There's another one that I wanted to hear a little bit of. Can I see? Dirt. I don't know what that sound was.
What the dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun?
I'm
That's
stalling.
Yeah, it's good stalling.
I'm
That's
stalling.
fine. You're stalling.
The chord progression on St. Peter's Autograph, amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, in one of the songs, it gets easier. He says, "You can't expect her to follow your lead. She's fine with her wine and her weed."
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Because
I love
that song's about sobriety.
Yeah.
And his how it's easier, but it's never easy.
Yeah. I love
It's
that.
such a good line.
Yeah, I highly suggest everybody go check this in the document. This album Reunions in the documentary out.
Yeah.
The documentary is called Run With Her Eyes Closed Again. It's on HBO Max. Go watch all those Music Box documentaries. But this one in particular is fucking incredible.
And check out his earlier stuff. It's all incredible.
Yeah.
His newest record, Weather Vanes, has some really good songs on it. I haven't dug into it too much because it's that classic thing that we've been talking about for years, where it's like we listen to so much music for the show that like you go through stuff quick, and then at the end of the year, it's like, oh fuck, that record came out.
Yeah, when
Right.
did his last album come out?
Like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
So I was gonna say it's this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really good. But yeah,
Yeah. Anybody got anything else they want to say about this?
no, it's a great record. If you start listening to it, and if What If I've Done to Help annoys you by the end, feel free to just go to Dreamsicle.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say just keep listening.
Yeah.
Keep
Just-
listening.
just-
It's so worth a listen.
Give it a fair shot.
My favorite Jason Isbell songs, or at least ones I would like people to hear, are definitely If We Were Vampires, and the song Elephant is a tough song to listen to. But
Is
it's
that
really
also
good.
on
that
Nashville
one? I think
Sound?
that's on Southeastern or
because I also went through and listened to just whatever the top songs are
Yeah.
on title.
Yeah.
well, what are his top songs? It's definitely Cover Me Up is one of them.
If I Were a Vampire, Strawberry Woman, Death
God
Wish,
damn, that
King
number
of
is high.
Oklahoma.
oh, dude,
and
it's a beautiful song.
Alabama Pines.
Let's listen to a little bit of. If
I
We Were
expected it to
Vampires.
be high, but I did not expect it to be 120 million.
It's a beautiful song.
Is it? Let's find out.
Just that melody there too. Almost immediately hearing this song, it just makes me want to cry.
It's so beautiful.
There are lots of songs that are very like somber and feelings.
Yeah.
Got the long flowing dress that you're in, or the light coming off of your skin, the fragile heart you protected for so long.
That's so hard to sing this shit.
For the mercy
He's just doing it.
So hard to sing this.
He said he couldn't play this for a good while.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't get through it.
Well, yeah, I can see why.
Jesus Christ.
Love is water more. It's not the way you talk me off the roof. Your questions like directions to the truth.
This part.
It's knowing that this can't go on forever. Likely one of us will have to spend some days alone.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get 40 years together, but one day I'll be gone. One day you'll be gone.
Come on.
Yeah.
We were
I never thought about that
vampires,
fact that like
death
maybe
was a
we'll get
joke.
40 years together.
We'd go out on
Like with our
side.
part, we're all married.
Yeah,
we're all
yeah.
married men.
Yeah.
Think about that. If we were vampires, we wouldn't have to worry about this.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it beautiful. Maybe time running out is a gift. That's what he says.
It's beautiful.
Come on.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
It's a fucking song.
It's a fucking song, man.
It reminds me of the dog song.
Oh yeah, on
Chris
the Chris
Stapleton,
Stapleton record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It definitely, it's one of those things too where you like after the documentary when they talk about like we're so used to spending time apart. We're so used to spending like I'll be on the road and then he'll be on the road and then we'll meet up and then share our stories with each other, but we'll miss each other for like 3 weeks at a time.
Exactly.
And then we can come back, spend some time together, and then do it all again.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and then the whole thing about them working together too is like that's not the same.
No, not at all.
But
Not
then
at
they
all.
go home and they have nothing to talk about because they already did all that.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
they already argued about the words.
So good.
It is so good.
Definitely, he's one of my favorite artists out of anybody.
Yeah, I think for anybody who doesn't know Jason Isbell, I think you have to just do yourself that favor and just at least try a little bit. I know we've played some today, but go give him an honest shot because there's just some amazing shit there.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Should we talk about what we're listening to?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I've been listening to Jason Isbell. We listened to a lot of really good stuff on Fun Friday this week. But to be more specific, I'll say my favorites. Corey Wong put out a new album called The Lucky One. There's a song called Call Me Wild featuring Dodie, and we listened to that one. Incredible song. The album is great. Corey Wong can sometimes do the cheesy thing, and sometimes it's too cheesy, but sometimes it's perfect.
Yeah.
And this album has a lot of the perfect kinds of Corey Wong. And then there's Spiritbox put out a new song called Jaded. It's from an EP they're going to put out called The Fear of Fear. I like it. I'm totally not 100% sold on it yet. I did see I saw a tweet that was pretty big in the metal scene that was like, the new Spiritbox song is definitely a song.
That's good.
And I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that right now. It's good, but it's not quite really pulling me in just yet. The riffs are great. Her voice sounds great. It's just there's something that's not pulling me in just yet, but I think it's more of a grower. So
The only thing that I've been still really digging on that I want to mention is Echo the Diamond, Margaret Glaspy's new
You
record.
took mine.
Is that yours?
Yeah, that was mine.
so
it's
good.
so good.
It's
Her,
so good.
I was going to say her second album was very forgettable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not that it's bad, but it just
No.
didn't stick like her first album.
I was waiting for this record.
Because this album from the first single was like, oh, this is what everybody expected out of that second
It's
album.
so fucking good.
Super fucking good.
I didn't say
I'm really
it.
excited. I'm going to get to go see her in next month in October
Oh shit,
Nice.
where at?
in Milwaukee because I'll be there when she happens to be in town. So
That's awesome.
Can I
she's
go
playing
with
in
you?
a 80-person coffee shop. So
Solo?
I believe so.
That's
Oh
cool
my
as hell.
God.
That's cool as hell.
That's so
Seems like
fucking
the perfect venue for that kind of music.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I think that's the first time, well, aside from like Queens and Foo Fighters, that I've stolen your record.
yeah, actually, yeah. Usually Hagen does it.
Hagen does it a lot.
Fuck yeah.
I'm also still listening to John Baptiste's new album. I don't know if y'all listened to
Oh,
that
I
at
keep
all.
forgetting
We
about
listened-
that.
we listened to a little
I
bit on
listened to some
Friday.
on Friday, probably
Yeah.
is what I assumed.
Yeah.
We listened to the Lil Wayne track. He kills it. Except for the guitar solo.
I don't know if that's the best track to listen to.
we didn't just listen to that one.
Yeah, we listened to more than just that,
But
but-
we did listen to that one.
Because it is a
curious.
very eclectic album.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So
Yeah.
if you just listen to one song and you're like, oh, I don't like that. Well,
No. I did like that song. I liked the Lil Wayne song. I thought it was good.
Just the solo.
Just the guitar solo was dog shit. Everything else was great. It was a great song. But it's also a big dive. It's like over an hour long. A lot of songs.
it's very long.
Yeah, it's a
And
it's
if
a big
you
album.
see him talking in interviews about anything, he's like, Oh, I recorded like 6 songs with all these people, and then had to pick which ones were gonna like be the thing that I put on the album. And everybody's like, "That's a lot, man." He's like, "Yeah, I've got like 5 hours of music for this one album." Like,
I've never experienced anything.
I don't know
like
how
that.
you cut that down.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
But I guess if you win a bunch of Grammys, you can just do that.
You can just do whatever you want. Yeah,
exactly.
that's fine. Yeah. Just stream of conscious writing. Just let it go. you know? Yeah. That's crazy.
Someday.
Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, for listening. Real quick, Matthew and the Arrogant Sea, my band, is releasing an album on September 1st. We are also playing a show at the Kessler in Dallas. If you're in the DFW area on September 1st, I would love to see you at the Kessler. Come up to the merch table and say that you're a listener of Don't Feed the Artist, and I will make sure you get hooked up with something. Yeah, Matthew doesn't know that yet.
Does that count for us?
No,
You asked that last time.
it does not count for
It
you.
I'm gonna
doesn't
keep
count.
asking it.
Still doesn't count for us.
Doesn't count. But come up to the merch table, say you listen to Don't Feed the Artist, and I will do my best to hook you up with some shit, whether it be discounted or something. But regardless, please, at the very least, listen to the album September 1st. It's called If You Find Yourself Floating Away. We've put a lot of work into the album. If you do come to the album release, we've put a lot of work into this show as well. It is very rehearsed. It's very well put together. I'm incredibly proud of it. So if you're in the DFW area, or if you know anybody in the DFW area, tell them to come to the Kessler September 1st to come see Matthew and the Arrogant Sea perform. I'm very excited. For what we're doing right now, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it so much. I appreciate it.
We may or may not hang out on Friday.
Yeah, we'll see. If you haven't already, please
You might
like,
have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please follow on whatever podcast app you are using. All these things help us out a ton. We really would appreciate it if you just press that little follow button, that little subscribe button, that little like button. All that shit helps us so much. If you're on social media, you can find us at DFTA Podcast on Instagram. Don't Feed the Artist on TikTok. Go follow us on all those pages. Content is coming. It's going. It's doing the thing. So press it and follow it and see it on your feed. And if you have any episode suggestions, or you want to say hi or anything, email us at if I were a vampire
Please.
at don'tfeedtheartist.com. We'd love to hear from you in general. Just say hi, say what's up,
DM us.
DM us on socials. Once you find those socials, DM us and say, I found it.
I made it.
I made it.
Send us music to listen to that you
too.
wrote.
Yeah.
Because Hagen and I have been doing that on Fridays. We've had a lot of cool people send us
Yeah,
music.
I think that's a cool idea to do that on
It's
Fridays.
so cool.
Yeah, so if you
I'm
have
totally there every week.
So if you have stuff you want us to listen to, you can join us on the Fun Friday streams, and you can just link us like stuff you want us to react to. But also, if you're a musician and you want us to react to your music, then we could do that live as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here, and we won't have a new episode next week because I'll be on tour. All right.
That's a good reason.
Get rid of town!
See ya.